Hello, hello everyone. GM. Welcome back to W3GG's AMA. I'm Vinska. I think it's been a while since I hosted an AMA. I hope you guys still remember me or not. It's okay. Yes, I'm Vinska. I am the head of events of W3GG and also the Indonesian lead for W3GG Indonesia. Welcome back. I am very excited for tonight's AMA because this is it's going to be my first time. Surprisingly, I just realized I've never hosted an AMA with this special leader before. His name is George Wong. Later, we will introduce him later, right? But I just want to see everyone here first. I want to see where your guys are from. I haven't spoken to you guys in a while. I want to see who's here. In the Sandbox Indonesia Discord, I can see like some of the active community members are back. I want to see more of like our W3GG fam as well, GM. All right, cool. I think we're just gonna wait for another minute for other people to join in. But yeah, it's good to be back. Happy New Year. I cannot believe that we're going to enter March very soon. I think for W3GG, you guys can keep a lookout because we will have a lot of exciting programs for the rest of the year. And because I'm the head of event, so I do know there will be a lot of exciting events for you guys. Whether you're in Bangkok, you're in Jakarta, you're in Bali maybe. Yeah, we do have some exciting stuff going on very soon. Yeah. And the nearest one is actually going to be Southeast Asia Blockchain Week. It's going to be in April from the 2nd to 3rd. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have something going on with Sandbox as well, because we are very close with the Sandbox. We're very close with Sky from Thailand, with Belinda from Singapore, and also George, right? George is everywhere. So yeah, it's exciting. And I'm excited to meet the community again. I think the last time we met each other in an event, it was like DEF CON. Yeah, so I'm excited to meet everyone again in TBW and other events as well. Hello, everyone. Welcome. All right, I think everyone is joining. And yeah, so for tonight, we are going to have a very casual AMA with George. If you guys have any questions, if you are from Indonesia, bisa banget nanya pakai bahasa Indonesia, nanti aku bantu translate. Oke, jadi kalau misalnya teman-teman mau nanya pakai bahasa Indonesia juga boleh. But if you're from Philippines and from Bangkok or from any other parts of the world, then you can type it in English because I cannot translate it for you. All right. Okay, so without further ado, I think I'm just gonna invite our special guest for tonight. His name is George Wong. Can we just bring him up to the stage? There you go. Yeah, you don't look too excited to see me, George. What happened? You're on mute. See, you don't want to talk to me.
I burned my finger before the call. So I'm serious. So I'm like, my left hand now can't be seen because I burned my finger.
Are you serious?
Right. Yeah.
You're okay?
No, I'm fine. That's why I'm not very excited. I'm still in pain, but let's go.
Okay, I'm so sorry, George. That happened before the AMA.
No, not at all.
We are also excited to see you, to talk to you, George. Welcome back. Welcome back, sir.
Yes.
It's been a while. It really has been a while. And I was just looking back to our first ever AMA. It was exactly a year ago, and it was with Irene. So we both know where Irene is right now. And I hope you don't put too much expectation on me.
You're fine. I'm sure you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, George. So, George, exciting session today because I have a lot of questions for you for Sandbox in Southeast Asia, and also the community has prepared some questions for you as well. But before we start, I think let's talk about your new title now. So a year ago, even like the last AMA that we had with you, your title was still country manager for Indonesia, Philippines, and Malaysia, and now you are the regional integration director for Southeast Asia for the Sandbox. What is the difference between then and now?
Well, I think last year Southeast Asia as a region for the Sandbox has existed since last year. So what we did was we experimented working together with Singapore, Vietnam, and myself handling the other countries except for Thailand. Because at that time, I think Thailand had other projects running. So we kind of experimented with this cross-market collaboration. And we found that the results was good. And we wanted to do this better this year. So that's why we not only just collaborate with all the markets in Southeast Asia. So imagine it's like every country is a separate entity, right? But then this year we decided to combine all of them into one entity. So unlike last year, where, for example, let's say Vietnam, I have no direct relationship with Vietnam beyond collaboration. This time around, I could perhaps represent Vietnam. Vietnam can represent the other markets as well. So it's a little bit better. So when we speak to someone or when we do community, it's not just like one market, but we can look at all the other markets and support as well. It's a way for us to do more with the community as well as with the brand partners that we sign. So that's the main thing. My role is to integrate everyone, which is why there's that weird title in between. Because actually every one of us are the same rank. So me, Belinda, Sky in Thailand, Chris in Vietnam, technically we're all the same rank. So my role is really to just help cross-border collaborations and support all the markets as well, which is something I've already been doing last year, but now it's just more formal. It's more operational than it is marketing or whatever.
Right. Awesome. That's great. So we're going to see the Sandbox in more events in 2025 with other regions as well.
Well, I think that if you talk about us personally, you might see more of us at the same events maybe, but I think when it comes to events itself, this year we are hoping to see if we can empower the community to run more events. Of course, Sandbox will still get involved in events, but I think this year with the DAO, with the delegate system in place, we are hoping that more community people apply run mini tournaments in various countries around the world. I think we talked about DAO before, but I think
Yeah.
this year it's not about talking about the DAO. This year it's about making it work, because DAOs are still, I wouldn't say that not many has been very successful, and we want ours to do well, and that comes with the community. So being regional helps because we can encourage people to run submit applications to the DAO that can be more than just one market, and we can help there. So I think that part is interesting in a way.
Okay, got it. I do have some questions regarding the DAO, and I think the community as well, because I don't think like the community. I think we have grown the community so much since the last time we had an AMA, right? So I think like some of the communities that just came in, they have different questions, or maybe like a repeated questions from like our last AMA, but. I think because you have changed your title as well to Southeast Asia, right? I have a question. What makes Southeast Asia a prime market for the Sandbox expansion?
I think if you look at gamers in general, Southeast Asia has always been a very mature player market, right? There's a lot of gamers in the space. I think in the Alpha Season 4, Indonesia was like the third largest in the world in terms of the number of gamers for Alpha Season, right? And that's very organic. It's because there's a lot of players there. Philippines has a huge player market. So I think Southeast Asia very naturally has a big player market. And also quite organically, they have a strong, what's that called, creator community as well. But it's also because of play to earn and the economics of play to earn, right? So for example, if you were to look at markets like the US or in Europe where income levels are high, play to earn returns may seem very small, right? But Southeast Asia is a nice balance, You have enough tech savviness across Southeast Asia to understand crypto and have enough tech to play it, and at the same time, the money is worthwhile. So it's a Southeast Asia, a very unique region. It's kind of in the middle, right? It's not third world. I know some countries are classified as third world, but to me, it's not. I think most of Southeast Asia, majority of them is actually in a developing status, which means that there is certain economic strength, but yet at the same time, currency is kept low because we are also an exporting region, right? So currencies are predominantly on the lower side for most of the markets. So then the value of play to earn is high. So I think that's that nice. It's organic as a result, right? But I think also for the Sandbox is because we have a lot of community members who are very supportive, very strong. We have strong partners like yourselves as well in Indonesia, that we have a stronger foothold. Even though when we started out, Southeast Asian team was the smallest team. We're not the smallest because we merged, but previously we were the smallest, right? So now we are not the biggest, but I think we're not the smallest anymore because of what we have done in Southeast Asia. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So speaking, I can hear myself. Oh, what is that? Hello.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's all right. Okay. So, George, speaking of 2024, which is last year, right? What are like the achievements that you are most proud of from Southeast Asia? Is there any like significant growth within like the Southeast Asia countries? Is there anything that was really significant for you in Southeast Asia? Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things that I felt was good for Southeast Asia last year was that obviously we had a very good player numbers for Alpha Season 4, and as a result, a lot of that play to earn value came to Southeast Asia, which I think is great. I also think that in terms of the business and the event side of things, we must understand that although it was a bull market for the second half of the year, but bull markets does not necessarily mean good business. It was a very tough year last year, right? In terms of the business side of things, in terms of signing brand IPs, even when it comes to the token side of things, people were looking at what's that called? They were looking at the crypto side, the Sand token side, rather than the play side. We benefited, of course, because with the Sand token price going up, the play to earn was more valuable. More people came in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in terms of business, it was difficult. So I think what I was most proud of was, despite how difficult it was, I think Southeast Asia had a pretty good performance. I think we are one of the best performing regions in the world.
Mm.
in terms of absolute revenues, which is saying a lot considering that our markets are lower income markets compared to
Yeah,
many of the mature
correct.
markets, right? So for us
Yeah,
to have that, it's just a show of how large we have grown as a region.
yeah.
So I think that was the best thing. I think other
Mm.
things that I'm happy about, especially with the Sandbox in terms of growth, was a lot of the tech that
Mm.
was improved, and also the fact that we had Alpha Season 4.
Yeah,
It was long time coming from Alpha Season 3. People waited a really
yeah,
long time for it. So I was
yeah,
kind of happy that we pulled it through and managed
yeah,
to showcase a lot of the new features that we hope to
yeah.
continue coming into 2025.
Right. Alpha Season 4 was a really exciting time. I'm quite sad that it has come to an end, but it was a really big mark for the Sandbox, and I think the community really loved it. Like what you said, we have been waiting for a while, right? Since Alpha Season 4, Alpha Season 3. Can you explain more about what features that you guys just introduced in Alpha Season 4, George, for our new community members?
Um, to be honest, there were a lot of little details. A lot of the improvements
Mm,
were qualitative in nature, so
mm,
the gameplay aspects are a lot better.
mm,
Everything from as I would say a very simple example. Okay, my favorite feature, right, is
mm.
something that I find very important, but most people don't realize it exists. Okay, but it's
Okay.
very important to me. So I'm going to highlight one, which is the fact that when you jump, the camera doesn't jump with you.
That is correct. That was a problem before. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that
yeah,
makes people dizzy, right? When they
yeah,
play,
yeah,
even
yeah,
me who plays FPS games, previously as well,
yeah.
and I was in the beginning, I was like, why am I getting dizzy for this when I don't get dizzy with
Yes.
those
Motion
games, right?
sickness, right?
Motion
Yeah,
sickness. That
yeah,
realized, actually, I didn't realize the
yeah.
developers highlighted that this is one of the reasons that was causing it was that when you jump, so it was too bouncy, and then you were also doing 360. So that minor feature, there's a lot of these kind of updates in the new game maker and the
Mm,
game client that people don't realize, but it
yeah,
improves the quality of life in terms of playing the game. And I thought
yeah,
that was very important. So a lot of
yeah.
minor things. I think this year we're going to have more major features. I think some
I
has
see.
been already announced.
Ooh.
I'm a bit careful about sharing features because I know what is coming up few versions ahead, but sometimes I didn't check the log to see which was announced. Just so you know that I think this year as well, we're going to have more seasons. We're going to try to
Oh.
go back to what we were doing about 2 years back, which was to have uh, mini seasons and larger seasons on a very
Mm,
frequent basis. So
mm.
if everything works out, we hope that we'll have at least 3 or 4 seasons this year. Um,
Woo.
that's on top of having like smaller mini seasons in between, and hope to have more builders challenge this year as well. So this year, I think there's a big change from last year in terms of how we want to engage the community. We want to
Mm,
make sure that more features come out and get tested in all the seasons. So this is a bit of a challenge, right? Because if we upgrade and then we introduce a new season and people haven't upgraded to the new version yet, it might not work. You get what I mean? So
right.
though we ideally would like to have so many seasons, we can't necessarily guarantee it because of versioning and stuff like that. So it's a lot more complex than just saying I want to run, because we're not a version
That's
1.0
right.
game yet. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
see a lot more features. One of the things I'm looking forward to is expanding the type of games that we can make. I think that's pretty crucial. So like with
Mm,
the end of with the previous update about a while back, we
mm-hmm,
introduced the rule system, right? So the rule
mm-hmm.
system allowed us to make things like tower defense games and so forth. And now, and the new versions, I'm looking forward to seeing roguelike games, which is something that I am a big fan of playing. I play a lot of roguelike games nowadays.
Yeah.
We are starting to see versions of that. I'm most excited about that actually. And there's also other, I don't want to divulge too much, but other mechanics that can
It's
now go.
okay, George. You can share.
I can't. I genuinely can't. Okay, but I would say that as we expand the type of games that we can make, the value of the sandbox metaverse goes up a lot more, because then people can produce more types of games. We have people experimenting
Yeah.
with puzzle games now, side-scrolling games. but I think we
Right.
can do more. There's a lot more genres that we haven't covered. So I think by
Ooh, that's one.
introducing those things and refining a lot of the aspects, like combat mechanics and so forth,
Yeah.
that will allow us to, who knows, we can bring in Capcom to do Street Fighter one day, right? I mean, okay, maybe not,
Amen.
but I'm just saying.
That's
I'm
a
just
wishful
saying
thinking.
that
It
would
is a
be nice.
manifestation.
That would be nice. That is not an alpha. I'm just saying that would be nice. I don't know if it will happen. I doubt.
No, George is secretly dropping some alphas here.
No, no,
Just
no, totally not. Okay, but I'm just saying that that will be that for me as a
that would
player.
be cool.
I
Yeah.
would love to have that, right?
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
even like deep MMORPGs, So who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's exciting year for development and creation,
Yeah.
and also for
Yeah.
players because more and more games are coming out. So I think
True.
that's pretty exciting for 2025.
Exciting, George. Wow. I think our community has waited for a long time for MMORPG in Sandbox. I remember our last AMA with Falcro, he even mentioned that he wanted MMORPG within Sandbox. You guys will never know. You guys will never know. But kudos to the dev team in the Sandbox. Well
Yeah.
done.
Well,
Keep on going.
I hope for MMORPG too, but that depends on studios, right? Or creators who want to
That's
make,
right.
So that's up to them.
Speaking of creators, George, we have heard about like the features coming up for this year, but for me personally, I'm most excited about the Sandbox when you guys announce a collaboration, right? And last year was about Care Bears for me,
Yes,
and
it
still
was.
is about Care Bears. Yeah. George was so annoyed because I was so obsessed with Sandbox,
No,
with
you
Sandbox and
can
Care
you can
Bears.
love Care Bears as much as you want. I have
I still
no.
have it as my avatar.
That's
You
good.
know.
Yeah.
So, George, any exciting collaborations that we should look out for in 2025? Ooh.
I think one thing that, as a result of us being
Mhm.
in Southeast Asia, we have a bit more of support to cultivate bigger IPs from Southeast Asia. So this is something that's changed in the last few years. The only IP that we worked with that had larger support, which we launched a game at the end of last year, was One Championship, right?
Right.
Which is
Right.
which is the world's largest MMA IP around the world, and it's a truly Asian brand, huge in Thailand as well. And this year, I think we have, I would say we have a budget and a plan, but we haven't signed them yet because the year just started, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
we're working on some major Southeast Asian ones. Globally, I think there's a lot trickling in the grapevine. And I can't say much because when they launch a new season, they'll probably introduce some interesting IPs, which again I'm not allowed to say. You're asking me a lot of questions I can't answer today.
George, come on.
But I think
Hints.
I think the news is more like we want to go more into entertainment, obviously. Things
Okay.
like movies. Like last year we had Hellboy, right? So just imagine more of
Yeah.
that, for example.
Yeah.
I think Hellboy was really like, I felt like it didn't get enough visibility among the community. We were very excited about Hellboy, but felt like the community wasn't as excited. Maybe because they haven't watched a new Hellboy movie in a long time. I don't know.
You
right?
should watch it. Hellboy is the
I'm
best.
tell your community I watch it. So, but I mean, so I think we'll want to get more contemporary entertainment brands, like from movies, artists, brands. But most importantly, I think this year, if we do our job right, we would have 3 or 4 brands from Southeast Asia itself that we hope to work with. So partly that's why I'm going to Jakarta tomorrow. Is we kind of want to get a brand from Indonesia. I'll be happy if we get one huge one, right? So so that's the plan. But I think this year is where we want to bring more of Asian content out. We tried some with last year. I think Thailand had the Songkran festival and stuff like that, which was nice. And I think that it's time for us to bring even more Asian content out there. And hopefully even for existing IPs like One Championship, if we can do more this year, which we intend to, we're in deep discussion. I think that's something I'm looking forward to as well. So more Asian content. I'm very pro Southeast Asia right now,
Yeah,
well,
let's go.
But I think now, I think after 2024, finally the world sees that Southeast Asia is important. I think that's pretty important that a lot of people don't see. I think not just for the Sandbox. I think in terms of Web3 gaming, I felt like last year was the year when almost every major Web3 game was like, oh, Southeast Asia is important. And you start seeing them spending time in Southeast Asia compared to previous years, right? So
yes, correct.
I think that's good for all of us and VGG as well, I'm sure.
Exactly. Yes, sir. So, BGG fam, I know that most of us are in Southeast Asia. If you guys would love to have like one brand or like one artist that you love so much that you want them to collaborate with the Sandbox, please write it down below in the comment. We would love to hear your feedback, and George will fly anywhere.
I would be happy if you introduce us.
Okay.
If you know them, introduce us, man. I will be your friend.
So if you have a suggestion, please drop their name and their contact.
Yes, please.
So George should just come and talk. I'm just kidding. If you need WeGG to help, call us. Yeah, you know where to find us. Yeah, we'll help George that way. Yeah. So George, we have talked about features. We have talked about brands and collaborations. Can we talk about Builders Challenge? Because we know that Sandbox has like Builders Challenge every year. Are you planning to do like very Southeast Asia focused or like one country focused Builders Challenge? And what are your expectations in that? Yeah.
I don't know about doing a single country and whether that's sufficient or not. I think in terms of initiatives to help a single country is good. Like for example, helping in Indonesia or Vietnam or Singapore. That I think those are fine. But when it comes to the initiative, it is a global initiative. The only thing is I hope the Southeast Asian market doesn't feel shy about joining the global initiative. I think that's the main thing. In terms of campaigns, we are obviously looking forward to having a Builders Challenge soon. I think when the first Builders Challenge is up, which is very soon, we would be able to see the reward pool and everything is exciting for people. It's really our way of just helping the community of creators monetize, right? But this first Builders Challenge for the year, I feel like our focus would be more on cultivation, meaning like while the Builders Challenge is happening, we are hoping to also run more like local or regional events that will help people understand the Builders Challenge. I think one of the things that I felt that the Southeast Asian community may not understand is how does the Builders Challenge work? Why should I get involved? What's in it for a builder, right? And if you build in other games, you will know that other games, like for example, Fortnite has UEFN, where creators build and they can monetize from it, from the revenues that the company generates. So in a sense, for the Sandbox, it's kind of the same, but because we are still in alpha stages, so we are doing it like in a mini season, but it's a season for builders, hence the Builders Challenge, right? So to provide rewards. But in the long run, because you must understand as well, part of the reason we run Builders Challenge is also for us to have to identify a good mechanic. If you notice, we are coming into the third Builders Challenge. We've done 2 previously, and the mechanic is actually different each time, right? And the reason is because in a way we are trying to find a way that's fair for everyone at the same time. And like a platform like ours, when money is involved, there's a lot of cheaters, so we have to figure out a method to avoid cheaters as well, but still fair, and at the same time allow us to have like a good mechanic that we can kind of do recurring in the long run. So by the time we reach version 1 of the game, I hope, personal hope is that we would have Builders Challenge perpetually, so that the creator community can benefit from it. So I think that's where we are at right now. So one thing to expect is that I think the next Builders Challenge is very generous. It's very generous. I don't know how much details has already been announced. But it's very generous in terms, and I think it is worth your while as a creator to participate and try, because we don't limit to how many people can participate, right?
Oh wow, interesting.
There's no limit to how many people can participate, right? And if you have multiple plots of land, you have different games, you can participate by just publishing your game, and based on the traffic that you build, that's where you make money. Now, the important thing I think for Builders Challenge is that because you get rewarded for the amount of
Mm.
traffic your experience gets, and
Mm.
also the rating, right? That's the
Right.
usual benchmark of how much people give star, right, to your
Yeah.
game. So it's not just a matter of having a good game; it's also a
Mm.
matter of marketing your game for people
That
to
is
come and
correct.
even it's free,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
this is where I think being a self-employed or independent creator, you're also
Mm.
being exposed to the realities of a real game. And I know BGG,
Yeah.
you have a large portfolio of games. This is the problems
Yeah.
they face. But on the Sandbox is at a micro level. So
Yeah.
it's a good chance for people to test, try, promote their games. So Builders Challenge
Yeah.
is more than just about building games. It's
Mm.
about helping them to transition from just building games to also being
Yeah.
a studio, marketing your games, getting people to
Yeah.
like your games, building a community of fans for your games, right? That's what the
Yeah.
Builders Challenge is actually about in bite
Right.
sizes, right? It's a mini
Yeah.
challenge to do that. So, and in Southeast Asia, yeah, if we want to run more activities to help people to learn that, to take advantage of the Builders Challenge, and don't be
Mm.
discouraged if you didn't do too well in this Builders Challenge. This Builders Challenge is about setting yourself up for success. We will have
Right.
more chance to earn. So when we do announce
Woohoo.
some activities, please join, especially if it's done
Yeah.
by the Southeast Asian team.
Yeah. 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 Please do. And most likely it's going to be WGG as well. Hey, man.
When you can start building, we can talk.
I'll learn. I'll learn. It's okay if I
You
failed the
you learn
first
first.
Builders Challenge.
You learn
Yeah.
first in the first
I'll
Builders
just
Challenge. Yeah.
go to the next Builders Challenge. But okay, seriously speaking, like, how about we know a lot of like Southeast Asian, right? We have ideas. We have a lot of people who have very good ideas about how to create a game, right? But they don't know where to start if they want to be a part of like they want to be a builder in the sandbox. Do you have a program where they can take as a first step for them to be a builder? And where should they go? Or do you have any tips? For sure, they need to have a land, right, to join Builders Challenge. Or is there anything that you can give tips for us?
Well, I think firstly, during this Builders Challenge, we would
Mm.
be having some form of education. We have
Mm.
some nice little nuggets and help for the Southeast Asian community. I
Mm.
won't say much until it's announced, but basically, if you're already a landholder and if you want to get your game published, we are going to
Yeah.
help you. I
Yeah.
think this is an initiative by our Thai team, so but it will be done across
Mm.
Southeast Asia, and I think I'm very excited on that. But we'll also have qualitative kind of like education programs. This will help you to get started, right? It's not going to
Right.
get into a studio yet. But then
Yeah.
one of the projects that I hope to push this year is to have more Sandbox academies in other countries, which
Mm.
via the DAO. So
Yeah.
the idea is that I find people who have the capability
Yeah.
and get them to go through the DAO in order for them to have an avenue for.
Mm.
It's two ways, right? People who run the academy, it's like a small business, and for people who join it, they have a way to learn from someone, right? So
Mm.
that one I think is better because based on our previous um, research, we in order for one to confidently build a game, it takes about 40 hours of invested time for them to
Wow.
launch a game, right? So
Yeah.
even in other markets, what happens is they join a program and then there's actually follow up, right, on a
Yeah.
weekly basis until they actually succeed to build a game, which can only be done via a program. So we hope to
Yeah.
roll this out more. I'm currently working on a program in Malaysia,
Mm.
but I'm hoping to see if we can also find good candidates to apply and run it in Indonesia as well, and
Yeah.
Thailand, and because Vietnam and Vietnam as well. So basically, all markets we are open to at least having one. So if
Yeah.
there's any in the room who are amazing at creation, level
Yeah.
designer, ideally you are attached to some educational institution and you would love to do
Mm.
a academy with us, I think
Yeah.
that's something that I would be happy to discuss as well. And all
Yeah.
of these academies are by our community members. So I think Singapore as well
Yeah.
are working on a proposal. So hopefully we'll have more academies. That's the best place. You can learn on online videos. We have all the tutorials, but nothing beats having someone to guide you
in person. Yeah, in person. Yeah.
each country.
Yeah.
So it's a slow process. We're gonna build it with the community. So please reach out to us as well if you're keen on that.
Yeah. Ooh, nice, guys. So if you guys are keen to have like Sandbox Academy, you know, a place, you know, a very good opportunity for the Sandbox to have a presence in your country, please do let us know. And don't leave us hanging. Please do share your contact so that we can contact you. So you don't just leave us with a name. Right, George?
Friend.
Yeah. George will be your friend. Yeah, George is a great friend. So testimony. All right. So I want to share my screen just for a while. So guys, if you want to know more about like what Sandbox is currently doing, what events are happening in the Sandbox, you can just actually check out sandbox.game, right? They already have like an events tab here. So you can take a look here what you guys can join, right? They have like avatar owners, they have New York City builders, and for all like the updated events, you can just take a look here. So here you will see the available now. So you can see there's Crash, Lunar New Year is still happening, Valentine's Day, right? And then you can see the past events as well. So Builders Challenge should be up here very soon, right, George? If it's already active?
Very soon.
Yeah, very soon.
Just wait for it.
Very soon. Okay. He cannot share like more than just very soon. He cannot give us a date yet, guys. So just be patient, all right?
Couple of days.
Couple of days. Wow, there you go. Yeah. Couple of days. So guys, please keep a lookout at sandbox.game. You can take a look there. And if you haven't actually like gone to the Sandbox, you should. I was just looking at the map this morning. I was like, dang, that's a lot of experience. George, what should we take a look at right now? Like, is there any exciting things that we should look out for in the Sandbox?
I think you should wait for the new season, which won't be too long away as well. And the reason why is because the new season, we are hiding a lot of like exciting shit. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's gonna be shown with the new season. So I mentioned roguelike. There's definitely some roguelike games coming. So but it's I don't think it's on the map right now because we're kind of hiding it for the time being. But do check that out as well. And of course, I think one of the things that you should look at if you scroll down for everyone is right here. If you scroll down, it's the 0.11 up too far, up a bit.
Oh, where's this?
Up a bit more. Yeah, the 0.11 enhanced experience row. I think all those are worth looking at because they introduced the new features that we have announced with the 0.11. So a lot of these were kind of like built and the new features are in it for 0.11. So and the features that are coming out as well. Look for these because we will highlight them. And even though they're an older game, but because they are updated with new features, that's why you would like to try them out, right? So when we come up with the new version, there will be this tab as well. So check them out. We have so many games. It's hard for me to have a favorite, to be very honest. I think my favorite during the season was the Mocha one, which people were jumping up when we did our own play together.
Yes.
It's that kind of simple gameplay that makes and I thought the House Kitchen one as well, which you were just jumping like the puzzle game. That one, not the one that was running around, but the puzzle one. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
My fingers had cramps after that, but it was worth it. So those are the ones that I personally like. So I'm a bit more into puzzle games. I'm not so into like adventure games and stuff like that. So like running around looking for stuff is not my favorite experience. There's a lot of it, but Fetch Quest to me is really boring. Because I've played so many games and Fetch Quest is the last thing you want to do. But there you go.
Guys, by the way, I have a very exciting announcement. So, during our last meeting with the Sandbox, which George was not there, we have agreed that in the next few game nights, for the game nights with WGG, we are going to bring someone from the Sandbox, whether it's George, whether it's Belinda, whether it's Nashua, Greg, whoever,
Is
we're
this
going to
why
bring
I
them
wasn't
in.
in the call? This is a trap, right? That you're telling me, so I can't say no, right?
So that's
I
something
think so.
exciting you should, yeah, that's something exciting that you guys should look out for. So it's not just us, the community, it's not only the KOLs, but someone from the Sandbox is actually going to join us and
I have
play
to
the
warn you,
game.
I'm a very competitive player.
It's
I don't like to
okay.
lose.
It's okay. We all are. So if you guys are going to see like any game night poster coming up within a few weeks, then you would know there will be someone from the Sandbox that we will sacrifice to go up on stage and play with us. Whether it's George or anyone, we're going to have
Sacrifice.
them.
Okay. I'm just remembering
Sacrifice.
this. I'm just emotionally preparing myself. Okay. Don't think I can escape this, so I'm definitely gonna do that.
No, there's no way to escape anymore, George. I'm so sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you say that, if you say that you are competitive, our communities are too. Yeah, you should join our game nights as well.
I
Our
wish I was
own game
20
nights.
years younger and I would probably win, but I'm not. So, so, so I will be sacrificed, as you say. Let's go.
Yes, so keep a lookout for that. That is WGG's exciting announcement for the Sandbox this year, guys. That's just for you.
Well,
You
not
hear
the
it
only.
here first.
There's more.
No,
There's
there's
more,
more.
right? There's more.
There's
Yeah,
more.
not
There's
very
going to be
exciting
a
for
lot
me,
more.
but it's for you guys.
It is for us, right? You will never know. Maybe we will have Sebastian next time. No,
Ah,
no.
ah,
That's just a manifestation. No,
someone
not at
said
all.
billiards game night. Billiards game sounds
Hmm.
good. Okay.
Maybe. Maybe. All right, George. So let's get into another question, right? Regarding
Sure.
Sandbox DAO. Because Sandbox DAO was just launched last year. And I think in our last AMA, we only touched the tip of the iceberg about Sandbox DAO, right? But this year,
Mm-hmm.
you said you're going to elevate more. Can you explain more about Sandbox DAO for our community who never heard of Sandbox DAO or don't know how it works, right? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Um, okay, so I think it's important to understand the basis of why a DAO even exists, or what a
Mm,
decentralized autonomous organization, which to be honest, I think is the worst name to explain what this is, but it's the theoretical name, right? Or they call it DAO.
hmm.
So essentially,
Yeah.
when we play games, just imagine if you're a player and you have invested
Mm,
about 1,000 hours into a game, right? And no matter
yeah.
how much time, money, or effort you have invested into a game, for most traditional games, you have no say in any part of the business of the game. Which means if a game publisher or developer decides to one day say that they're going to shut down a AAA game, and whatever money you spent, the game will be unplayable, especially for live service games, which has been happening a lot over the past 2 years. Excuse me. So a lot of live service games have like there was some games I was looking at was checking 3 months closed down, right?
Mm,
So imagine the people who spent the game. So the
mm,
idea is that players have no power over games, right?
mm,
And the DAO, the purpose of the DAO was to actually give back at least some power back to the players to determine the trajectory of the game or to determine how the game should develop over time. Okay. So, and that's why it says now it's your time to govern, right? Exactly that. Now, what we have, or what currently the incarnation of the DAO for the sandbox right now is what I would call a hybrid DAO. Okay, it's not a full DAO in the sense that many of the operations is still being managed by the company. And that's because when you're developing a game and you haven't finished the development of the game yet, you cannot introduce too many elements to the community because that we've seen that happen in other Web3 games where they went a full DAO too early, where the community of players 100% controlled the game. Now, the problem with the community 100% controlling the game is that the development will be affected, right? Because they can, when I mean 100% control, there are some DAOs, I won't name which DAOs, but 100% control means the guy in charge can be fired tomorrow if the community decides on it. Now that sounds great if you are a consumer or the player, but if you are actually trying to build a game, that's impossible, because if someone has enough power, they can decide that I don't like my boss and they get rid of my boss. Now, my boss likes to say that one day he hopes that he can retire by the community taking over. I think it's mentioned those lines. I did not quote him, okay? But I hope he never leaves. I hope people vote him out, because I want him to work until he's 90. He's doing it forever. Okay. I'm saying is that but a hybrid DAO is a nice balance where the development trajectory will always be maintained. The company doesn't have too many shakeups, but at the same time, the community has power to, for example, like decide on new features that they want included into the game. That's one. We see some DAOs like that. There are DAOs that looks on the other side of things, which is like the event side, academy sides, things that will help to grow the platform. These things can be voted on, and every year there's a budget for the DAO, and the participants can vote on what they want to appear in their game. So giving more power to the community without affecting the development trajectory of the game, right? And some base marketing. But as I said in the beginning, one of the things I mentioned this year was we will continue to be involved in events and all that, but we would love to see that, for example, if there's a big, like, let's say WeGG has a game day, right? And they're doing it, let's say, in Thailand, right? And the community member says that, hey, I want to do a tournament during WeGG's game day, right? They can apply with the DAO and actually get that and be the mini organizer to help grow the community. They can make some money for the time they spend to do it. But I think the goal is to have more community involvement. I think in previous AMAs, I've talked about how, if we are not in a certain country, there's no one representing, but a community can do events with the DAO. That's the general idea. Now, last year when we launched the DAO, we had, obviously every DAO has a bit of issues, but one of the things we did was we have introduced the delegate system, which allows more opportunities for proposals to pass, right? Because in order for a vote to pass, you need enough votes. And last year we had a bit of an issue of getting sufficient votes, because there's too many people who don't understand. I'm pretty sure 99% of people watching this now haven't even logged in here and actually voted anything, right? Now, if you're too lazy to vote, that is where the Sandbox has 12 delegates. These 12 people are people you can choose to delegate your voting power to them if you like how they vote. For example, they believe in certain things, then you can delegate to them. But if you don't like them for whatever reason, they don't agree with your direction, okay, you can then choose to vote independently or delegate to a different delegate. So that is how, if you look at delegation, is there. So that's something new, and these are the 12 delegates. Now, I personally know Hidden Walls because he is based in Singapore, and we also have one in Indonesia. It's good for you to get to know him, and you can see the top three, how many votes they have. Votes are very, very important. So you can get to know them, delegate to them if you don't want to spend time, and they will help to continuously vote in your favor. Personally, because I know the Hidden Walls in person, in real life, he's a good guy. He always thinks about the community. He's also a big landowner, so it's not like he doesn't do anything, right? In the Sandbox, he's got full skin in the game, and he is always there to make the unpopular vote if necessary to protect the ecosystem. He really means what he says, so I can vouch for him. But there are also others that you can get to know, right? Get to know, and the star ratings are kind of there to guide you and help you. But ultimately, you decide who you want to vote to, and you realize it's a nice mix, right? We've got 3 representatives in Southeast Asia, right?
Singapore, Indonesia,
right?
Philippines.
We have more representation in Southeast Asia than we do in many other markets, right? So I think that's something we should be happy about, right? And I think there should be more, but I think for now these are the main ones. I haven't met, so if they are in the room, please reach out. I would love to talk to you.
Wow. See how busy George is?
it's
He's
not
like,
easy for us to reach out to the right people.
oh,
But firstly, I would like to say I'm very grateful to those who are here in
yeah,
this
yeah,
list, because they are doing us a service that helps.
yeah.
But again, the purpose of the DAO is this: it's to allow gamers to have a bit more of a say.
Mm,
And it's not just about events. It could be about features. It can be about
yeah,
software to enhance it. There's lots of things that you can do. So take the opportunity to participate in the DAO
yeah.
if you want to be more than just be a player. If you have issues with how we do certain things, that can also be a discussion on the DAO, which could lead to a change, right? We can vote
Yeah.
on changes as well. So here's the thing, right? We have a lot of people who do not like certain things that is happening in the
Mm,
sandbox, right?
mm,
Because for whatever reason, maybe it's a difference of
mm,
opinion or whatever. The DAO is the best place for you to not only bring up concerns, but
mm.
also to get the community to vote in favor of what you think should be changed.
Right,
Because if it
right.
passes, we have to do it.
Yeah, you have no other choice.
And if
Yeah,
you look, these are
yeah,
the categories of things that you can vote on. So like
yeah.
you feel like and it's not just about money. This is money we have if the vote
Mm,
requires it, but it
yeah,
doesn't necessarily have to be about money.
yeah,
You see my point?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and the
yeah,
year
yeah,
just started, so there's actually still a lot of budget for a lot of things that people can vote on. So do look
yeah.
into it. It might be worth your time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guys, I think Sandbox DAO is very interesting for you to look at right now. So if you haven't gone to Sandbox DAO, you should, right? There's a lot of opportunity. Like what George said, it's just the beginning of the year, so there's a lot of things that you can still do, right? For yourself, for the community, for your own platform and the Sandbox. Yes, so please take a look at Sandbox DAO. And it's very good to have George here to walk us through the whole Sandbox DAO, or else you will never know, or I will never know. No, I'm just kidding. I know about Sandbox DAO. I just haven't gone through it that much. Right,
You haven't
George?
done it. That's the thing. She's worse because she knows and she didn't do it. So if you
I
all feel
did.
bad, don't feel bad.
I
Vinchka's worse,
did. I
right?
did.
The,
I
the lead
submitted for it,
coordinator is
CoinFest.
not leading.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Really?
Have you delegated? Have you voted?
I voted once, I think, for something else, but I forgot what it was. Because I always got an email from Sandbox DAO every day,
Well,
somehow.
delegate,
So,
meet the Indonesian rep, have a
yeah,
chat, delegate.
we
That
should.
should be cool. Yeah.
We should. We should. We should.
Yes.
Whoever you are, what was his name just
Well,
now?
we'll
Uh,
look for it. It's on Twitter, right? So we
Hishmet.
can see.
Hishmet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
will. I will reach out to Hishmet. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. See you soon, Hishmet, if you're here. Okay, so George, yeah, I think we have come to the end of the Q&A, and I think the communities have a lot of questions for you already, right? But from WGG, we already have some questions prepared. We already asked our community a few days ago what questions they want to ask you, right? And I think let's just get into that first. So,
Yeah. Okay.
the first one is for beginners, is it now mandatory to own an avatar since most events are currently for avatar owners? Ooh. Mm.
The answer is no. I mean, if you see that what you are seeing is those that has an avatar and it's linked to it, the rewards for avatar holders is to reward them for believing in the brand and investing into an avatar, right? I think only we are the ones actively doing the rewards for
Mm.
avatars. So in other
Mm.
games, an avatar's a skin. You like it, you buy it, you wear it, it's done, right?
Yeah.
There's zero rewards involved.
Yeah.
Whereas we have rewards, so I think free to play you don't need. We are also doing some other upgrades to the character creator to make it look more cool. There have been minor
Mm.
upgrades so far, but that will continue. So free to play players, it's if you're not talking about money, then it's there's no limitations, right? It's only
Mm.
there are certain events which has rewards for avatar holders. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So they said here, how can free-to-play players earn more, considering that many quests now require owning an avatar? If there are 3 events and players need to buy 3 avatars, that can be quite costly. That's what the
Well,
community said.
well, I think that's tied to rewards, right? I mean,
Yeah.
every experience you can play with any avatar. If
Yeah.
or some of them will have a prefix, but there's no
Mm.
limitations for people to play. I think, but in terms of earning more, I think it's like it's only fair if you are invested in some way. So, for example, many games have season pass. We have our season pass as well. By
Yeah.
investing the season pass, you can earn more, right? I think that's the nature of it, because
Yeah.
ultimately it's still a business and it's traditionally free to play. So, and free players still get rewards, right, in the form of sand and
Yeah.
NFT during seasons. So I think
Yeah.
that's the nature of it. And a lot of these rewards are also by the partners. It's the partners that want to
Mm.
give extra rewards. So don't think of it as the rewards that is there. These are extra rewards because the brands
Yeah.
wanted to give it, So that's
Yeah.
something that probably wouldn't change moving
Right.
forward. But it doesn't stop you from playing, doesn't stop you from earning. Free to
Mm.
play is like that. You want to get the best rewards, you got to play a lot harder. Every game's the
Yeah.
same, right? You want to go to a free reward, it's like that, right? But I think
That's
we are
correct.
quite generous for free, to be honest.
Right. That
Yeah.
is correct. That is correct. And this question makes me so proud that one of our community asked this, because it really shows that they want to be a builder, right? Someone asked, Game Maker update, will it be possible for us to use a joystick for editing in the future? Please discuss this. Not a specific question, but more like just a discussion.
Joystick or controller? I am assuming controller. So
Controller, yeah, like a controller.
uh,
Yeah.
and I would say that it's something that it's been looked at. I don't know
Mm,
when controller will be added, to be honest, but it's
mm,
definitely something we
mm,
will add eventually. But that's for
mm,
playing, right? In terms of
right.
game making, I'm not sure if that is practical
Mm,
for controller designing. Um,
mm.
but that's something that I don't think we've ever been asked, like game maker,
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
playing,
yeah.
playing, yes, but for editing, that's something I will ask. I doubt that will be a priority when it comes to editing. Definitely
Mm,
for playing,
mm,
we have it's eventual. It's just a matter of when, right? So
mm,
yeah, that's my answer. I don't think we would be using joystick slash controller for
mm.
editing. Playing, yes. Editing, probably not.
Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, there you go, guys. And also, I still have a few more questions, but I'm so sorry, guys. I think because of the limited time, we cannot answer all the questions yet. But I think this one, it comes from a newbie here. I'm pretty sure they just joined Sandbox very, very early on. So, what is the difference between sand, land, and asset tokens in this game ecosystem? Mm, very
Well,
beginner's question. Yeah,
um,
understandable.
sand token is like the in-game currency token you buy in a regular game. You buy the
Mm,
token to buy items in the game. Land is more like the server. So for example, if you ever played games and you want to have a server to host your own game, that's what I would call land. Land's equivalent is a server. It's just that it looks like it's physical on the map, right? So
mm,
without land, you can't build anything in it. So
yeah.
think of it as the server for you to host your games. And then assets would come in the form of avatars, wearables, and items in the game environment. So you can buy like display items, like Snoop Dogg's car can be displayed on your land, that kind of thing.
Mm,
So that's what asset tokens are. They are assets that you can use to either skin your character, wear on your character, or showcase on the land that you own, or experiences that you own as well. So those
mm,
are assets, right? So they just serve different functions within the ecosystem.
there you go, guys. So now you know the difference between sand, land, and asset. I think we do get a lot of these questions for the WGG community who are very new to the sandbox. But if you do need more help, we have moderators who are also actively playing the sandbox. So if you have any questions, you can ask them, and they can just walk you through the sandbox, because we do have a lot of new communities in the sandbox as well. So yeah, it's all good. All good, guys. Now, how do you acquire and use land in the sandbox? Oh, yeah, this is another question from our new community. There
Quick
you go.
one. You can either buy it during a land sale, which we will have on our website, or you can buy it
Mm,
from open markets on platforms. like OpenSea. I believe you can buy it on Magic Eden as well. So different platforms sell them. So you can also buy them from the secondary market. So two main ways to buy. But having said that, to play, you don't need land. I believe some people ask that, but to play, you don't necessarily need land. So, but if you want to buy, those platforms that you can buy from.
Yeah. And also, the follow-up question was, what are the benefits of owning land compared to those who are just playing without owning any? Well, you can still play the experience.
Yeah. Well, I think it's very similar to the Avatar question, right? So during seasons, we give extra rewards to Avatar holders and land holders, but those are extra rewards to reward them for actually investing and buying assets from our creators and from us. So they get a bit of bonus. It's usually nowadays it's in the form of EP, which means that the EP, the ethos points for you to in the season is easier to earn compared to a free player. But you don't need land to play, okay? But you do get benefits like extra ethos points and maybe extra rewards during the season. So that's the main thing of owning, of course, hosting your own games or hosting your own experiences or hosting your own like showcase. That's also the other benefit of owning land right now.
Okay, got it. There you go, guys. And also, this one is pretty. This question comes up pretty frequently. How do we report any tech issues other than Discord?
So
DAO. Sandbox DAO.
Okay, so
That one.
not the DAO. If you want to report tech issues, right? You need to go and look at the Discord ticket. Unfortunately, that's the best way. Even if you were to get the team, it goes through the Discord ticket. And the reason is because the tech team will get all these requests and actually kind of go through them. They do reply, and you need to dive deep on their response. I've gotten feedback when people feedback and they said there's no response, but that's because they didn't actually dive into the response and click the links to see what the feedback is. That's one. The other thing, I also hope that you don't flood the tickets either. You see, there's a team of people looking at each ticket, right? And you can imagine people flooding the tickets doesn't actually make the problem go away overnight. In fact, it makes it worse. It's because then they will feel like there's just too many, and then the real bigger problems might get missed out, right? Because and I know that people do that. Okay, people flood, people keep bringing up the same ticket over and over again. It doesn't necessarily work, right? But we also understand that we need to improve on that. So that's something that the team has been working on. But if it's a big enough of an issue, then you can go to the DAO, right?
Yes.
Then
people will vote for you.
That's not a bug, right? The Discord link is actually a bug issue, but oftentimes, and I can tell you this is a true problem we have, right? The problem is we have a lot of scammers who are also using the tickets and claiming that they are real. And that's an issue, right? Because every time we verify an issue, we have to verify if they're a scammer or not.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It takes time. So and flooding it doesn't help. And unfortunately, there are a lot of bad actors in the space who are doing it as well. And it's very hard for us.
That's very unfortunate.
So please be patient with them. And anyway, a lot of tech issues you think that is there, we are not we're still at the alpha stage, and we'll try to fix it with every new version. If you're not ready to deal with some tech issues and bugginess, and you'll get upset at it, then it's better for you to wait until the product is more mature, right? But we appreciate everyone. Don't get me wrong. But some people get very emotional about it, and then they complain about it when we are also trying to explain we are doing our best to solve the problem. It's an alpha stage, so there will be some issues. So have some patience, because our tech people try their best. And our moderators try their best too. So it's not please be kind to them. They are people too, right?
Yes.
I really want to say, because I do pity some of the moderators, and oftentimes the ones scolding them, we realize many times there are legitimate cases, but there are also many scammers, and it's very stressful. At that point in time, the moderators have no idea.
Exactly. You cannot differentiate. It's so hard. Yeah. That is correct.
Please be kind. We try our best. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yes, be kind to one another, guys. In this community, please, all right? And also kudos to all the moderators for the Sandbox and also the tech team. We know that you guys are doing your best in bringing us like a better experience in the Sandbox as well. So thank you so much. And also we want to thank you, George, for coming this beautiful evening with a lot of different questions that we cannot answer. I'm very sorry, but we'll try to make a content out of it. So George will answer, and he will visit Jakarta very soon.
Yeah.
So I will try to bring very soon, as in like a few hours. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to gather all the questions, and then we'll get George to go into a corner and answer all of those questions, and I'll make a reel about it. I'll make a video about it, guys. So don't worry.
Yeah. Bring all the questions. I can be long-winded. I'm sorry. So
we'll just lock him up.
Yeah.
Separate video will work. So if you have any follow-up questions that you want to ask George, ask now, because I'm gonna meet him tomorrow and the next day and the day after that as well. So I have a lot of videos that I can create with George. Yeah. All right. Awesome, guys. So thank you so much for everyone who just joined tonight's AMA. We already asked a lot of exciting questions for tonight. Even though George mentioned I cannot talk about it much now, I cannot drop some alphas yet now, but we will have another AMA with George and also other Sandbox team to drop more alphas for us for the rest of the year, right? This is just the beginning. This is just the first AMA with W3GG and the Sandbox. We will have a few more coming up throughout the year, so please have a look at that and stay tuned to our socials. Again, thank you so much, George, and thank you so much for everyone who has been watching today. I'm very glad that everyone has joined, everyone had a great time, and we will see you again soon. All right? Thank you so much. Thanks, George. Good night.
See you all.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.